This is the Sports Stop with your hosts, James, Evan, and Kurt, only on WSJU Radio.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sports Stop here on WSU Radio, the voice of St. John's University. I'm WSU's own James Mitchell. Alongside me is my partner, Evan McGuire. Kurt Sim is not here today. He's got some sort of appointment or something, so I don't know what's more important, his health, or if it's a doctor's appointment, if it's his health, or the show. Obviously, we know where his loyalty lies, right, Evan?
I think we do. I mean, we're here.
That's true.
We could have appointments, but...
I mean, we definitely could. I actually turned down my dental appointment just to be here, because who needs a root canal done? Who needs root canal work? Now it's a special day because it is just Evan and I, and Evan and I talking sports. So this is one of those days we like to call every day. So we've practiced a lot for moments like this.
Yes, we do. Hopefully, all this practice comes into play.
I mean, this is what dreams are made of right now. Take that, Kurt. Ditching us.
We don't need you.
I hope he's listening.
I hope you, yeah. So.
That'll get one. That'll be one listener.
Yeah.
There we go.
One listener. Let's go.
It is November 24th, the year 2015 AD. The last Monday in November. We've got Thanksgiving coming up.
Time out.
Yes.
You said 2015 AD.
I said 2015?
Yes.
Then I am lying. It is 2014 AD.
You're jumping ahead a little bit there, buddy.
I mean, I'm actually from the future.
Oh, yes. My God.
Yes.
My mind is blown.
Yes, as you can tell by my chrome features. So, yes, it is the year 2014 AD. Thanksgiving is, if you're counting today, 4 days away.
I am so excited.
I am too. Of course, we are at a college campus. We have the break starting on Wednesday here at St. John's University. I'm stoked. And then we come back next Monday. We have another, maybe 3 weeks.
Is it even 3 weeks?
I think move-out day for those who live on campus is the 17th or 18th.
So we're done the 15th.
I mean, that's
technically.
Technically, that could...
Because don't we have like 48 hours to move out after that last final or something?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I believe something like that.
Going back to my dorm days.
Yes. And here at the Sports Stop, I don't know about anybody else's final schedule. I take 2 classes, so...
Rough life.
Yes, so maybe. But we might be able to do the 15th. If not, our last show would be the 8th, which is 2 weeks from now.
I'll be here still.
I know I will.
I won't. I'll probably leave that Tuesday.
All right. So, depending on schedules and finals and whatnot, you can mark us down for December 15th. We all want to be here, so let's try and get here.
All those loyal listeners out there.
Oh, yes.
We will go.
Definitely. And speaking of the loyal listeners, I apologize. I did not put up last week's episode of The Sports Stop on YouTube.
Disappointing.
I've been busy. Actually...
Have you been busy?
That's not my excuse this week. I haven't been busy. Actually, I couldn't find my flash drive.
Okay.
Turns out it was in the pocket of my pants I wore on last Monday.
I mean,
last night I was going through all my jean pockets looking for it. I found it.
At least you found it. I mean, that's the good news. That way we can put 2 episodes up.
Yes.
Or, not we, you.
Yes. So, we have a great show coming up. Week 12 in the NFL. Fantastic week. Probably one of the best weeks in the NFL we could have. It was a very exciting, a few exciting games coming down to the last minute. Of course, the big game here in New York was last night's game. The Giants hosting the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys won 31-28.
And I was rooting for the Giants last night.
There you go.
Like, that's how big of a game it was.
Now,
I rooted for the Giants.
Now, the big story from that game is not the last 2-minute drill that Tony Romo conducted to throw a 13-yard touchdown pass to Dez Bryant in the back of the end zone with a minute in the second left. Even though they won, that was not
it's
the news.
Overshadowed.
It's overshadowed by the fantastic,
catch.
out-of-this-world catch from Odell Beckham Jr. After he got fouled, after he got interfered with. Flags flying everywhere. Just goes up, makes the catch behind his head.
I don't know how he got.
It looked like
it's
he
amazing.
was. It looked like he was like Michael Jordan, just about to dunk the ball. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So,
and the funny part is about that is he does that in his warm-up routine.
Yeah,
That's the crazy thing. Like it's natural for him to do stuff like that.
definitely. And Evan, you showed me a video yesterday that he did this in college. He did it on a kick return.
Yeah, at LSU, it was just a kick return against Georgia. Just it's in the end zone. He just casually, very casually, sticks a hand up, catches it,
Not
and
even
then
up, back. Sticks it
back.
It's ridiculous.
And it was just so casual about it, and like going back to LSU days, going to his pregame warm-ups, like all his catches, one-handed ridiculous catches, are just casual.
Yeah, they are.
And not only was it a one-handed catch, it was a three-finger catch.
Yeah, as if
catching it with one hand isn't hard enough.
I mean, just think about that.
Three fingers.
I want everybody out there to look at their hand. Now imagine an NFL football going in your hand. Okay? Now close your pinky and your ring finger and imagine that same football. I don't think my fingers can fit around that.
We're going to experiment with this later.
We should. That's crazy, though. It was insane. One of the best catches you'll ever see. It's definitely going to be on the SportsCenter top 10.
It was number one. I
There
didn't
you
watch
go.
it, but
It's got to
I can
be
tell
number
you,
one.
it's going to be number one for a long time.
They do vote, right?
Yeah.
Day by day.
Well, I believe they do still, unless
Yeah.
they stop doing that.
I think they do. I don't know. I haven't seen sports in a long time.
I haven't watched Top 10 Plays because I usually just end up changing the channel before.
Yeah. So there you go. So yeah, that was the big storyline of last night. But let's go back to the game that the Cowboys actually won. Tony Romo conducted a fantastic drive. The Giants' defense, though, they looked like they were playing prevent the whole way. I hate that prevent crap.
It's hard. You can't give Tony Romo 7.5 seconds.
Yeah, there's
in
no
the
pressure
pocket.
on Romo.
Like if you give Romo 7.5 seconds, a guy like Des Bryant, he'll get open. A
Yes.
guy like Witten, he'll get open. Like they have guys that are good enough that if you give them time, they'll get open eventually. The Giants' defense is not that good to stick with them for 7.5 seconds.
No, especially
Most defenses aren't.
No, it's true. I mean, if you give a quarterback 7.5 seconds, I don't care if he's Aaron Rodgers or Drew Stanton. He's going to his receivers are going to get open.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Giants consistently only rush 4. The first 3 times, okay, you got a little pressure on him. But once they started getting him, Romo was starting to dance in the pocket, because he was just getting jittery. It wasn't even like it was collapsing.
No.
He had all the time in the world.
It's something new to him.
Yeah.
Because if you look back at the past, Romo's been injured a lot of times. The guy's one of the toughest quarterbacks in the game. He's playing with fractured vertebrae right now. I think it's just weird for him to actually have that much time.
Absolutely.
I mean, this year, his line is great. That's why DeMarco Murray is leading the league in rushing. Again, DeMarco Murray had about, what was it? He had 121 yards last night. Just a normal day. I think that was actually a down day for him. But
yeah, that's the funny part.
It's ridiculous. But, I mean, in the past, Romo never had this kind of protection.
No, I mean, he's used to scrambling for his life.
I know. And he was good at it, too.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't the defensive coordinator, take the idea, okay, we're rush 4, drop in the coverage, but you're still giving up 20 yards a play. What's that do?
It's not good.
It does nothing. Because you're driving down the field, you got to stop them eventually, but you got to get pressure.
Yeah.
Even though Romo does good when there's pressure, he finds a way to elude it. You can
you rattle him.
You rattle him, and
you make him hurry up and
force
the throw. Right. That's exactly what it is. And the Giants just didn't do that. The Giants' defense, that was the big problem. Their defense just couldn't hold back. And also, I believe the momentum shifted once Eli Manning in the red zone, I believe, missed a wide-open receiver. Didn't miss him, but it was a bad throw. It was too high. I don't know what that says. It's dark. Show me a dark screen. Let's see. There you go. So they Eli Manning missed a wide open receiver. It was in the red zone.
It was a walk-in touchdown that he missed to Preston Parker, I think.
Yeah, it goes off Parker's hands because it was too high.
It was
obviously.
too high. It was way too high.
Tipped up, and of course, one of the Cowboy safeties come
right
over,
there.
intercept it because that's easy. And I think the momentum shifted right there.
Absolutely. I mean, it was literally a layup touchdown. Like, there was nobody in the vicinity, and I don't understand how Eli can miss that bad with that open of a receiver. Like, there's no excuses for that. And when Preston Parker was coming over to the sideline, they saw Coughlin go off on him. Like you have to make that play. No, Eli has to make that play.
Yes.
I don't think Eli. I'm not saying Eli. They lost because of Eli, because they didn't. They lost because of that defense.
Yes.
But
Eli threw 338 yards, 3 touchdowns. But that interception, I feel, was the momentum shifter.
Well, yeah, it was definitely a momentum shifter. But I wouldn't blame this loss on Eli.
I wouldn't either.
I think he had a good game. He made one critical mistake.
Yep.
But, I mean, you usually get a mistake in a game, especially from Eli.
Yes. I mean, this is coming off a 5-interception game, so this was a good game for Eli.
They just didn't piece it together in the second half, and I give them credit. They tried to run the ball, but they were not effective at all with Rashad Jennings.
Rashad Jennings was their leader in the rushing categories with 19 carries for 52 yards.
I mean, and they didn't. I got really annoyed when they did not use Andre Williams when they were on the 1-yard line and they tried to run the ball. Like, when they were on the 1-yard line, the previous drive you threw 3 fade routes, didn't get in.
And they did that last week too.
Yeah. And then this week they tried to run the ball 3 times, and then they did play action. I think play action fake, and they got the touchdown. So they got it, but you have a bruising running back in Andre Williams that will run through a brick wall.
And he's been doing that all season with Jennings out. So
yeah. Why don't you use him? Like, I know Jennings is a hard-nosed runner.
Yep.
He'll break through tackles, but Andre Williams is a big guy, and he'll run through a brick wall, literally.
Now the New York Football Giants are 3-8.
6-game losing streak.
6-game losing streak.
Again, just like last year.
Just like the start of last year, yes. 2 against the Cowboys. But this one, they should have won. I mean, Giants fans didn't go to bed last night thinking, oh my goodness, Odell Beckham, he is the reincarnation of...
He's the real thing.
Yeah, he's obviously the real thing, and, that could be a positive that the Giants fans look for. But ultimately, what happened last night was Odell Beckham Jr. made a fantastic catch, and they lost against the Cowboys in a game that they shouldn't have lost.
A game that was huge, really. I mean, mentally, just knocking off one of your biggest rivals. That's huge.
Oh yeah. Now, if the Jets win tonight, of course, the Jets Buffalo Bill game was postponed to tonight. Now it's in Detroit instead of the winter wonderland we now call Buffalo.
It's flooding in Buffalo.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
See, the snow's nice. All right, no, because there was actually deaths with the snowstorm. It was crazy.
That's too much snow.
Yes, that's too much snow. But I mean, I think I'd rather have snow than flood.
Yes, absolutely.
So, if the Jets win tonight, they are also 3-8. 2 football teams in New York, both 3-8. Or you could have one football team 2-9, the other 3-8. The best football team in New York City right now, or the area, is the Red Bulls. See what I did there?
And they lost last.
And they lost last night too. So,
but how about? See, I thought you were going to go with the XXFL, whatever it is.
The Brooklyn Bolts?
Yes. They might be the best football team in New York right now.
They might be. I haven't really followed up on them.
I haven't either, but hey, it's possible.
If
they win, they might be 2-0 on the season or 3-0.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, they might have the same amount of wins as the New York Giants.
The Jets.
Not the same competition, but
still.
Yes.
Still, you get some. It's quality football. I don't know if if that's fair or not.
I mean, I haven't seen a game in order to watch it. Also, a few other games yesterday. The Broncos dispatched the Dolphins in an exciting game. The Broncos only won by 3, 39-36. Manning had 4 touchdowns. C.J. Anderson
racked it up.
Yeah, 167 yards and a touchdown.
And 195 all-purpose yards, too, I believe.
I think so. I think you're right. Emmanuel Sanders, 9 receptions, 125 yards.
Big touchdown for them, too.
The big thing was Denver scoring 22 points in the final quarter.
They scored 22?
22 points in the fourth quarter.
That's amazing.
Demaryius Thomas had a big game. I believe he had 3 touchdowns.
Over 100? Actually, he might have been under 100.
I think it was under 100.
He didn't really rack up the yards. He just got the touchdowns.
Yeah, and that's what you listen.
And they did that without Julius Thomas.
Odell Beckham Jr. had 145 yards. He also had 2 touchdowns, but he didn't have that third one to give them the lead.
Yeah. It's all about the touchdowns at the end of the day.
Yep, all about the points you get. So, I mean, how about them Dolphins? Losing in Denver just by 3. They had to lead the whole game, pretty much. I mean, I don't know if anybody really chose the Dolphins, especially the Broncos coming off of a loss against St. Louis.
Especially at Denver.
Yes.
At Miami, a little bit more of an interesting game. Like I am going into the game, I think it would be a lot closer.
I think so too.
I was expecting at least a 10-point game.
I did too. Especially, I mean, the Dolphins' defense is the second best defense in the game.
That shocks me.
I don't know. I don't know with yesterday, because going into yesterday, they were the second best defense in the game.
I mean, and they held them to 17 points in the first half.
Yes, they did. And they didn't score any in the third quarter either. You work so hard and then fourth quarter and you lose it all. That's tough. That is a bummer. But I think
you still played them tough though.
Yeah, exactly. The Broncos are everybody's Super Bowl favorites this year, at least in the AFC. Going into the year, they still could be. I mean, of course, the Patriots are on a roll, and they beat the Lions yesterday, another first-place team dispatched by the Patriots. So they are currently they are the favorites to win the Super Bowl. But going into the season, looking at the Broncos team on paper, this Broncos team is the majority of everybody's, they're the favorites to win the Super Bowl going into the season. So, and the Dolphins are right there with them. It's fantastic. It just goes to show you that, anything can happen. We're all used to seeing the Dolphins lose.
Yes, we are. I mean, it's just been the way it's the past. I don't know how many years it's been since they've really been relevant.
I mean, when was the last year they had a solid quarter? Chad Pennington with shoulder surgery.
Chad Pennington.
Oh yes, Chad Pennington.
He got into the NFL because of Randy Moss.
Did he?
He was at Marshall.
He
was at Marshall, so I mean,
he was a successful quarterback. He didn't really have that kind of arm. He
had no arm. He had no arm.
He was no Brett Favre.
Brett Favre comes up again.
He was like James Mitchell behind in the pocket. I don't have an arm either. That's why I played second base.
Second baseman.
That's right.
But I mean, I think they're one of the biggest surprises this season. I know a lot of people were doubting Tannehill coming into the season, and even in the first couple weeks of the season,
yes,
they were still doubting him.
Yeah, they were, because he did start a little slow. They were calling for maybe the backup possibly, but they stuck with him. Now he's showing that he could play in this league and he can play well.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's a really underrated part of his game, his running ability. He's a fast quarterback.
He is, and now they're doing a bunch of. When you think of Ryan Tannehill, you don't think of the option. You think of Colin Kaepernick running the option, Russell Wilson. You don't think of Ryan Tannehill, but he does it. And he does it well,
and he picks up 30 yards like when he does it. Like usually, he usually busts out for at least one huge run play in the games. And I'm always shocked when I see him run because
he had a rushing touchdown yesterday.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
There you go. I'm always surprised when I see him run, just because I'm always amazed by how fast he is.
Yeah.
For a quarterback of his size, because he's
a big guy.
He's a big guy. He's 6'3", probably.
Probably something like that.
I mean, he can move. He can get down the field, and it adds a big element to their game.
Speaking of down the field, let's talk about this Cleveland Browns game.
Oh my God! Welcome back, Josh Gordon.
Welcome back, Josh Gordon. Of course, Josh Gordon served his 10-game suspension for his like 4th or 5th charge of smoking dope or whatever. Anyway,
was only supposed to play in 20 to 30 snaps. Ends up playing 50-something out of 64 or something.
It
like
just
that.
goes to show you, like, Josh
70?
Gordon, even though he did work as a car salesman, he was actually working hard towards his game as well, which is, great for him.
He made a comment, actually, in his post-game interview. He was like, it just goes to show you that I wasn't just sitting on my butt and not doing anything. He stayed in shape. He worked his way. He didn't lose a beat out there.
No, he didn't, and it showed because what did he end up with?
I think it was 9 for 120.
Yeah, let me
and
check. 8 for 120.
8 for 120.
Yep, no touchdown.
No touchdown.
Isaiah Crowell, their
vultured.
One of their 2 rookie backs back there in the Brown system, had 88 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And Terrence ran the ball. Terrence West ran the ball well. I believe he had 40 yards, which was impressive.
It's true. So, sorry, I just got a text. Text from a buddy of mine says he's actually listening. So there's 2. Well, no, there's actually definitely 1 listener. So that's good for us, right? But he said he's not surprised that I talked about Brett Favre.
See?
Yep.
It even came up yesterday.
It did come up yesterday.
It came up yesterday. It was a stat from about Romo, I guess. I think it was.
I think so.
Consecutive road game touchdowns.
Yep. It was
Brett Favre was on there.
That. He was number 2.
I was not like when I saw it. I immediately looked at James and I was just waiting for him to pick his head up and start reading and I saw his reaction. I was like,
yes.
Eyes lit up. It was like, yeah, Brett Favre.
Yep, best quarterback in the game. Best one to watch, at least, in my opinion. And everybody else's. Anyway, the Browns.
Back to the Browns.
Yes. The Falcons were down, what was it? 23-21.
Yes. And the Browns punted to them with, I think, just over 2 minutes left.
Something like that.
Or, no, under 2 minutes left.
Yes, you're right.
Under 2 minutes. It was horrible clock management by Atlanta. Absolutely horrible because
they left 44 seconds on the board. They got a 53-yard field goal from Matt Bryant to put them ahead 24-23.
They stopped the clock though for that field goal.
They did. You're right.
They could have brought that clock all the way down to probably 20 seconds left, I want to say.
Also, the Browns had, 2 or 3 timeouts left?
They had all 3.
They had all 3?
They had all 3. They stopped the clock for them.
So they had plenty of time. 44 seconds and 3 touchdowns to get...
3 timeouts.
Yeah, 3 timeouts to get into field goal range.
That's it. I mean, and with the X factor back in Josh Gordon, I mean, he said he was going to tear the league up.
You know, he did.
Picked them number 1, Atlanta.
There you go. And, of course, Atlanta, they don't have the
best defense.
The best defense. Nobody's giving them an award or anything like that. However, you got to play the game. Even if you were out for the first 10 weeks, 11 weeks with the bye. So he played it, and he played it well. The Browns marched down the field. Billy Cundiff hit a 37-yard field goal as time expired to win the game and beat the Falcons to make the NFC South that much better. Sadder. We were on different wavelengths there. Now the Falcons, who are leading the division at 4-7. Of course, the Saints could.
They're gonna
move up there, but still, it's ugly.
It's
ugly stuff.
It's not good. It's not good over there.
Yep. Second place is what? Panthers at 3-7-1.
Yes, because they have that tie.
Yep, with the Bengals. Oh,
but the Browns are 7-4 now. They're not in the wild card. They have the Chiefs and who was it?
They're half a game behind the Bengals.
Yeah, because the Bengals tied.
Because the Bengals tied with the Panthers.
I think if the Bengals didn't tie, I think the Browns would be in first. But they're tied for the wild card, but they're sitting on the outside. But they're relevant. They got to 7. They were 6-4 before they got Gordon back.
Right.
I think that's huge for them.
That is huge.
Because I think that offense can only get better. But
It opens things up a little bit. One of the most
Absolutely.
underrated receivers out there is Andrew Hawkins.
Oh, yeah. I think Hawkins was the leading receiver yesterday.
I don't think he was. I think it was Gordon.
Was it Gordon
Yeah.
on that last catch? But going into that last drive, Hawkins was the leading receiver. He had over 100, I believe, going into that last drive. So you have two 100-yard receivers in the same game. I mean, that just shows how that offense can come together, and that's without their stud tight end in Jordan Cameron.
Yep, that's
who's
right.
Concussioned.
And now you've got these two running backs in Terrence West and Isaiah Crowell. Feed the crow, man. They're showing that
Change
they
of
can.
pace and Terrence.
Yeah, they're showing that they can play this game. And now, just as we all predicted, I believe I said this a week or two ago, just as we all predicted,
About a week ago.
the Browns are the most relevant team in Cleveland right now. Not the Cavs.
Not the Cavs. The Cavs are struggling.
The Cleveland Browns. We all thought
that.
We all thought that was
We all knew it was going to happen. We all predicted this.
Yeah, obviously.
We predicted them to win the division, not finish last. No shot. You know.
Yeah. Brian Hoyer, we thought was going to be in the MVP talks.
All right.
Speaking of that, I asked you this yesterday.
Yeah, I was
Before the final drive.
Before.
Because the Browns were leading majority of that Atlanta Falcon game. And I thought we should bring this up. I asked you before that final drive, do you think Hoyer starts? I mean, he's been struggling, and with this, and
he knows it.
What looked like it was going to be a choke loss. You think he starts? Because they have Johnny Manziel right behind them. And, of course, everybody loves Johnny Football.
Everybody
loves Johnny Football.
But I think going before that last drive.
Yes.
Before the last drive, I think it was going to be a situation that Hoyer would start.
Right.
And if he struggled in the first half, we were going to see Johnny Football come in.
A la Geno Smith.
Yes, but not a classic Geno first quarter or
right.
or 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But I think I think he would have got benched in the game. But with that last drive, even though it was big,
it lengthens the leash a little bit.
Yeah, it allows him to go have maybe a mistake or two and still can get away with it because he can lead that team back. And he has the chemistry with Josh Gordon right now.
Yes, he does.
He played 3 games with him last year, not that much, not a big sample size, but it still shows that they have that chemistry. And you saw, I mean, Gordon had to be targeted. If he had 8 catches, he had to be targeted about 16 times yesterday.
Probably something like that.
I mean, and that's where Hoyer has to start to learn. 16 might be a little too much because he was forcing the ball a lot into him. Look for a check down, and I think he'll learn from that. I mean, I read something that even though they won, he was still hanging his head because he knew he almost lost that game for them.
I know you'd like to see that because you don't just because it's a win doesn't mean everybody did so well. So you like to see that. Hopefully he learns from it, and hopefully we can see him start next week, which he will after this clutch come from behind when he had a fantastic couple of great 2-minute drives yesterday. But let's talk about today's games right after the break. Of course, we have 2 Monday night games. One being in Detroit between the Jets and the Bills. What? Yep, that's right. Then we have tonight's Monday night game, which was scheduled with the Ravens in Nolens. So we got 2 games to preview. You don't want to go away here on the SportsStop here on WSG Radio, the voice of St. John's University.
Welcome back to the Sports Stop.
Are you ready?
James,
Kurt.
Kurt, Evan,
Okay. All right, fellas. Let's go! In the moment, the back said everyone attack, and they turn it to a ballroom blitz. And the girl in the corner said, boy, I want a warning, it'll turn it to a ballroom blitz.
Welcome back to the Sports Stop here on WSG Radio, the voice of St. John's University. It is 11:01. We're about to talk about tonight's Monday night games. Of course, the Buffalo Bills game was postponed for tonight as the Jets and Bills are now going to Detroit to play in the domed area we now know as Ford Field. I mean, the NFL usually tries to help the city of Detroit out by doing this. Of course, I don't know if you heard about this, but they were giving away free tickets to this game.
Yeah.
And scalpers are trying to sell the tickets for, I guess, on average, $125.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're trying to sell tickets for $125. Tickets they got for free for $125.
I really hope the people in Detroit are more educated than to buy from them.
Now, I mean, I feel like some of them are the people of Detroit because it's in Detroit. I don't know.
I feel like most of the people that are going to be at the game are from Detroit or from New
Definitely.
York.
Yeah,
because you
definitely.
can't really get out of Buffalo right now. Still,
I mean, that's true. So I don't know how what kind of there won't be any home field advantage. There won't be, and that's a bummer for the Bills. But of course, if you guys are living under a rock or 7 feet of snow, you do not realize that last week the Buffalo area got swamped with a giant lake effect snowstorm. They have, I don't know, what was it, 7, 8 feet of snow on the ground?
So yeah, 7 to 8 feet. I mean,
and this early. I mean, I think I read I heard on the radio
this has
that
to be the earliest.
Yeah, I heard on the radio that the average snowfall in November in the Buffalo region, of course, it is Buffalo, they do get snow, but the average snowfall in Buffalo in November is 7 inches. They got 7 feet.
That's just amazing. That amazes me. Like how do you get that much snow? I understand they're prepared for like 3 to 4 feet.
Yes,
with their storms.
Not
7 to 8 though.
Yeah, I don't even think you can prepare for 3 to 4 feet.
But they
in Buffalo
can be like Buffalo.
But yes,
Buffalo,
they can. It's not unheard of. Yes.
Yeah. That's not one of their outrageous things to think about for them.
Yes, of course. I asked former WSJU great Mike Fosher how he's doing up there. I asked him if he built a 7-foot snowman wrestler, John Cena. He said no. I don't know why. Of course, Mike was always big into WWE and the WWF, the World Wildlife Foundation. Good for him. No, nothing? Okay.
Sorry. Sorry, nope.
That's all right. Even us on the show don't listen to the show. So it's okay.
But to all our listeners out there, it's for you.
Yes. Speaking of that, call in with your thoughts at 718-990-3SJU. That's 718-990-3758. We just talked about the NFL from yesterday, a few of the games yesterday, and we're going to preview tonight's 2 games. Let's start with the local New York team, the New York Jets. Flying high after a win in a bye week. That is, I believe, the first 2-week non-losing streak the Jets have this year. So that's good.
There you go.
Yes.
Congratulations, Jets fans.
Good job.
You got something to look forward to.
But honestly, they do have something to look forward to. Michael Vick, when he's played, he looked pretty well.
Yeah, he looks decent. Other than that first game where he relieved Geno,
and he said, "I wasn't ready to play."
He's protected the ball nicely.
He has, and it's great for him.
Yeah, he's got a couple turnovers. That's to be expected, but it's not
like the old
extreme.
Michael Vick would have a few turnovers too.
I mean, and I think I'm expecting Percy Harvin to be even more incorporated into the offense tonight. With that bye week, I think they probably worked on a few new wrinkles into the offense.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
I feel like it's going to be. I feel like he's going to have at least 12 looks tonight, at least.
I mean,
I say like five run, 7
yes.
and 7 pass.
Yes,
at least.
Oh, definitely. And of course, now that it's not in a, the game is no longer outside. It is in a dome because that's where that's what the church plays, and they play in a dome. So it could be these two teams. They do enjoy the run, especially the Jets.
Yeah.
With, of course, they have Chris Johnson and Chris Ivory in their backfield. Now they have Percy Harvin, who can do a little end around or even just play from the backfield. He's done that before. And, of course, Michael Vick, probably the best running quarterback in league history. At least statistically
It's not even close.
Yes.
It's not even close.
So, I mean, this game, even though there's a lot of wrinkles in it,
It's
the
going to be
Jets,
a fun game.
who thought they were going to Buffalo and now going to Detroit. They're still a road team. So
it's going to be I think it's going to be a really good game tonight.
I think it will. Of course, that's only in that game will only be shown in the New York
and
Buffalo regions.
Yeah.
I don't know about my hometown from upstate around the Deconic.
You might get it.
I usually get the Jets games and the Bills games.
I imagine you would get it.
I think so too. I mean, I don't know why not.
But what's your prediction for the game?
See, I think it's, of course, playing in a dome is a lot easier. You got Kyle Orton, my favorite backup quarterback in the league. We all know this.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Now that he doesn't have to battle the winds and the snow or the rain or anything, that I don't even know what's going on in Buffalo right now. Currently, I just know that it's cold this time of year. But now that he doesn't have to battle that, now he's in the dome. You got Sammy Watkins, who torched the Jets last time they played each other.
Yes, he has.
Of course, the Bills took care of the Jets pretty well last time. I think they won by 20-something. I think it was 40-something to 20-something.
Embarrassed, as usual.
Yes. But that Jets secondary, they could be torched by Sammy Watkins again. Sammy Watkins is
one of the
many great rookie wide receivers. What we're watching this year is something special, to be honest with you. And Sammy Watkins, of course, was the prize of that rookie class. So I look to see him have a big game tonight. But ultimately, I do think the Jets go in and win. I think I told, because my brother always picks. My family, it's my brother, my dad, my mother, and myself. My brother calls me on Thursday. Yeah. No spread or nothing, but my brother just calls me on Thursday, says, who do you got, the Raiders or the Chiefs? By the way, we should talk about that a little bit.
Yes, we will.
So, and I give him my picks, and I think I said the Bills. But honestly, I think the Jets...
Jets squeak it out?
Yeah, mainly because it's not home field for the Bills. It's a neutral site.
I feel like it's going to be a practice atmosphere.
Kinda.
You know, where you get people to come out, but it's nowhere near...
Right, I don't think it's going to be...
It's not going to be... It's going to be quiet there.
I think so, too.
It's going to be quiet.
I don't even know if they'd have a sellout.
Like, who
I don't think so.
Who would Detroit root for? Who would Detroit fans root for? Would they boo the Jets just because they're the Jets?
No, they're not me.
I mean...
But then again, they might... You know, the ones that have hearts, they might be like, oh, Buffalo. They haven't won. Well, neither have the Jets.
Yeah, right.
This is tough.
Seriously.
But they might have like hearts. Oh, Buffalo, they just got
pummeled.
poured on by snow, so we might go for them. I hope.
I want to see the Jets win just because it would piss all the Jets fans off.
Yeah, I
want to see the Jets win.
And this is what's gonna happen. The Jets,
the typical Jets.
Yeah, typical Jets. They get out of it early, but you know they don't want that first round pick. They don't want the first overall pick. They don't even want a top 5. They want like a nice 12. They want the nice 12
solid
pick.
Outside the top 10 12.
And
not 11.
And of course Rex Ryan will be back. If they sweep the table, of course it's going to be hard. They have the Patriots and they have the Dolphins twice.
I think they'll beat the Patriots just because they always play them so tough. Again, and it's just that game that everyone's like, all right, let's just lose it. It's the Patriots, whatever. I feel like they're going to win that one.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how the Jets end up. But I do think the Jets win this one. If it was in Buffalo, I'd definitely go the Bills. Yeah. But now it just doesn't.
And Fred Jackson's back tonight.
Yeah, Fred Jackson is back tonight. That, of course, will help him in the dome. But I do pick the Jets by a close margin. I say it's probably going to be probably like 24-21, something like that.
Yeah, I'd say I was going to say a 4-point game. I don't know if I go that high of a score.
All right.
Because I feel like the Jets might actually play a little defense tonight.
I mean, you never know which Jekyll and Hyde Jets defense you're going to get.
I have high hopes. No, take that back. I have hopes for the defense. I don't have high hopes for anything Jets related.
So you think the Jets are going to take it?
Yeah, I think the Jets will take it tonight.
All right, what, like 23-20, something like that?
I'll go. I don't want to give them 3 touchdowns. So.
I mean, that's a bunch of field goals and 2 touchdowns.
I would like. I don't think they'll get to 21.
Okay.
I think Kyle Orton.
Orton.
I think Kyle Orton's going to struggle tonight.
No such thing.
I know.
Kyle Orton will never struggle.
I understand that, but I believe he'll struggle tonight.
Is it kind of sad that, like, of course my number one's Brett Favre, but my number two is Kyle Orton? My number two, like,
such drastic
favorite
difference.
talk-up quarterback is Kyle Orton? Whatever. It is what it is, boys. The other Monday night game, which should not be a defensive battle.
It should be pretty fun to watch.
It should be pretty fun to watch. Of course, that will be on ESPN at 8:30. The Jets game, of course, New York, Buffalo areas at 7 o'clock on CBS. But tonight's game, 8:30 on ESPN, the Baltimore Ravens are going to be coming into the New Orleans Superdome, the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, to face the Saints and Jimmy Graham and Drew Brees in that potent offense, but that not-so-potent defense. It should be a good game. We all know what's going on with the NFC South. The Saints could take over the lead if they win tonight at home.
That's horrible.
The Ravens, the AFC North is pretty much the opposite. Everybody's above 500.
Everyone's within a half a game.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really know their standings. I don't know if the Ravens win, they could
Are
be
the Ravens
first.
6-4?
I want to say
They're
they are.
either 6-4 or 500.
There's something. I'll tell you what.
Did they come off a bye week last week? They did, right?
Yes, they did.
So I'm going to say they're 6-4.
I think so.
We should know this.
I'm trying to look it up right now. It's not happening. But I think they are 6-4. They do have. See, they've got Joe Flacco going against the Saints' pass defense, and the Saints' pass defense, just like pretty much every other pass defense in the NFC South, isn't good. I couldn't tell you which one's the best one.
You're saying pass defense. You mean just entire defense, though.
I mean, yes, but like particularly pass defense. They're not. I couldn't tell you which is the worst one. They're all really bad.
Baltimore is 6-4.
Baltimore is 6-4.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Evan.
So if they win, everybody is a half a game behind the Bengals.
Behind the Bengals.
Because of a tie.
Right. And that just goes to show you.
Tie,
man.
Tie's better than a loss in this case.
Yeah, it's true.
At the time, everyone says, "Oh, the tie is a loss." Guess what?
It's kissing your sister. That's what it is. I'll tell you what.
Or that.
That's the old saying. So yeah, you got you got a tie in there. I don't know. See, it's tough. I always want to pick the Saints. Always want to pick the Saints, especially at home.
One big thing, though, that they lost.
What's that?
One of those dynamic rookie wide receivers, Brandon Cooks.
That's right. He's out for the season now.
Yeah, on the IR. I mean, broke his finger, I think it was.
I think so.
That's a huge loss for them. That was one of Drew Brees' big targets and a part of the run game.
It's true. Now you're, as a football guy, as a Saints fan, you're going to be looking towards Marquise Colston if he can get back to that old Marquise Colston way with Cooks out, or Kenny Stills.
I think Kenny Stills is going to step up.
I think so too.
I'm expecting a big game from Jimmy Graham and Stills tonight. Big games. I think Drew Brees will find a way to get back to his old self this game and give all the Saints fans some hope that the offense is going to be amazing again.
See, I want to say, like I said, the Saints always want to lure me in.
I'm
falling
for the Lord tonight.
I'm not. I'm going to go with the Ravens. I think the Ravens defense, they're the best rush. Well, not the best rush. They're up there in the rush defense.
Yeah.
But their defense always seems to show up on primetime games.
That is true, yeah.
So I'm going to go with that Ravens defense. I think Joe Flacco and Torrey Smith are going to connect a few times. And I think it's going to be a nice, high-scoring affair. I think it will be like a 31-24 type of game, but I'm going with the Ravens on this one.
Is it a must-win game for either of the teams?
Not technically.
Exactly, right?
The Ravens will only be a game and a half back, and I think they do have a lot of divisional games going forward.
I think it's a must-win for the Ravens more,
I think it's more, yeah, the Ravens.
Just because the NFC South, I mean, you can be 7-9 and make the playoffs.
Yes, and I think, do you know the Saints' record? Are they 4-6?
Are they 4-7? I don't even. They might be 3-7.
They may be 3-7. Let's see here. What do we get? It's up here. Nope. Go back. There we go.
They are 4-6
They're
right
4
now.
and 6, so
So they're a half a game up on Atlanta technically right now.
technically yes. And if they win,
They would go to 5-6 and that full game up.
yep.
So I mean,
So I think it is more of a Ravens must win. But I mean,
the Ravens have looked good lately. I mean,
for the sake of the NFC South, it might be a must win for the Saints.
like honestly, right? If the NFC South goes 7-9 and that wins the division and they get a home playoff game, I'm going to be really disappointed.
I mean,
At least get to 500.
it's happened before. What was it? 2009, the Seahawks.
Yeah,
They
But
beat.
still.
They actually beat the Saints at home with the 7-9 team.
But still, come on,
Beast
come
mode don't
on,
care.
man.
Let's.
Beast mode won beast mode that game.
That's true.
That was a great game.
That's true.
for
it
him.
was. Oh yeah, definitely. That really put him on the map. I think that was his first year out of Buffalo. He had like a DUI in Buffalo, things like that. Things didn't really pan out too well. Then he goes to Seattle, put his name on the map. Now he's beast mode.
Now he's 55 words in an interview of yeah, maybe, don't know. Give me a second.
Now let's
Yeah.
look ahead of this into the future. Week 13 has a few great matchups, but let's start with Thanksgiving really quick. This might be one of the best Thanksgivings in recent memory. You got the
Huge
battle of the NFC East and the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Dallas Cowboys. That game's at 4.
and that's
the-
at Cowboys.
Yep, that's in Dallas. The Bears are coming to visit Detroit on Thanksgiving. Of course, those two teams are always playing each other on Thanksgiving. Not playing each other. It's the Cowboys and the Lions. They always play. But the Bears, who are coming off of a win against Tampa Bay, have been struggling recently. And the Lions, who lost their last 2 games against 2 good opponents. Hopefully,
Embarrassed though yesterday.
yeah, they got embarrassed by the Patriots yesterday. Lost by almost 30. So hopefully they come back and play. Of course, now they're out of first place. The Packers took over first place yesterday with the win, and the Lions lost. And that nightcap is
The Seahawks and the 49ers. Honestly,
becoming one of the great rivalries, and we're watching it
yeah.
unfold before our eyes.
and this is definitely the most competitive Thanksgiving games. Like,
In recent history, I
Yeah.
would say, yeah.
I mean, most of the times it's like New England. Like the Jets were playing against the Patriots.
Right.
You had the Lions
Butt
and the
fumble.
Packers. Yeah.
Yep.
I was trying to avoid those words.
Mark
but
Sanchez, man.
Mark Sanchez returns to the Thanksgiving Day.
Yep. Let's see if he butt
Please,
fumbles
Sanchez, don't do it again.
2.0.
I'm begging you.
And of course, the Lions were really never relevant until like last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So they never had a competitive
And then
Thanksgiving
you got
game.
the NFC East showdown.
Yeah, then you got the NFC East showdown and the NFC West showdown.
And
That's
usually
fantastic.
the NFC West showdown, that's the first place game at 7-4. That's usually
Yeah.
a first place game.
And now you got the Cardinals at 9-2. So this is, of course, this is big for the Cardinals are struggling. This could be big for, the divisional, but it's also huge for a wild card. So let's start with the Eagles Cowboys. This should be good. I'm looking forward to this game probably the most out of them all.
I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I have all my family coming up, so
Yep.
my mom has to strategically plan Thanksgiving dinner around this Eagles game.
Yeah, I mean,
Mom, we're all depending on you. So, make it happen. But, I mean, I think it's definitely going to be a higher scoring game.
I think so.
I mean, the Cowboys are coming off a tough, like a tough NFC matchup in the Giants,
Yep,
where they got
on the road.
where they got beat up a little bit. Not too bad. I wish the Giants did a little bit more damage, but I'll take what they did. But I mean, I'm going to ride with the Eagles on this.
All right, the Eagles, of course, are coming off a nice win against Tennessee at home, but now they're going down to Dallas. Thanksgiving, possibly the biggest game of the day. Definitely the biggest game of the NFC East year
To date,
to date, because they are playing again later on in
2
Philly.
weeks later.
Yeah, now it's the sprint, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go Cowboys. I think their defense is better than the Eagles, and I do think the Eagles' offense is better than the Cowboys' offense. But I think the Cowboys' offense can hold their own. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys in a nice. I'm going to say 34-31.
That's a good game. I mean, the thing that I noticed last night, like watching the Giants in the first half Giants,
Yes.
they played it with a hurry-up offense. It was more of a quicker pace.
And, of course, that's the
And that's
Eagles' MO.
Exactly. I think because, the guy said last night, the Cowboys, they do like to rotate players on their defense, especially that defensive line.
Yes.
I think the Eagles can exploit that, especially I think, I mean, I said this a couple weeks ago when McCoy had a good game, but McCoy he had 21 carries, 120 yards. I think he's starting to. Hopefully he'll break out and he'll maintain that, especially against the Cowboys. It's going to because running the ball later in the season is huge.
Yeah,
it's huge, and I think he'll go for over 100 again, and Sproles will come in, have his 8 touches in the game, get that vulture a touchdown from McCoy.
but he's mainly the punt return danger. Oh my god, you said a stat.
Oh yeah,
The Eagles have 9 different people return kicks and punts for
Yeah.
a touchdown. That's
tied
for
for most
the most in
NFL history. I mean, and we're only in week 13,
Yeah.
so
they
let's
have-
throw one more in. Come on, or I'll just take another one from any of the 9 before. I don't really care.
So who do you have for the score? You have the Eagles winning.
I'm going Eagles. Eagles by 7. I'll go 34-27.
Okay.
That's 7.
All right, pretty good game. Now, of course, that's probably going to be like 14-10.
I you can't with these offenses. It's so hard to pick low though.
That's true. But, I mean,
But
everything
it is
we
Thursday.
say...
It is Thursday though.
It is Thursday.
It is
Short
Thursday.
week. Short week. Here we go. Next one, let's go to the Bears-Lions. I think the Bears are just struggling so much. Their offense is so good, and they're just not doing anything. I think the Lions come in and they just lost 2 straight. Now they're out of first place in the NFC North. Now they're actually fighting for the wild card. So I think the Lions is a must-win for the Lions. Of course, on Thanksgiving, this is their day. I say they win, and I say they win by 10. I say it's going to be like 31-21, something like that.
Okay.
Stafford to Calvin Johnson. Of course, Fox gives away. Oh no, I think they're on CBS actually.
Yes, they
But
are on CBS.
each game gives away a special award. Calvin Johnson gets that award on Thursday, and I say
the
Des-
Turducken.
Yeah,
The Turducken Award.
No, that's
Is that Fox?
That's NBC.
Oh,
That's
that's
the
NBC,
Madden
okay.
Thanksgiving. Fox, they have the the Golden Gobbler. I say Des Bryant gets it for that one.
I say McCoy gets it.
Okay.
I take that back. I say Darren Sproles gets it.
Okay, one of those two.
One of the 2 running backs
All
gets
right.
it.
North
I say the Bears
North.
win. I say the Bears come in
Okay.
and surprise them. Honestly, I mean,
Go with the upset. I like it.
there has to be some time that they're going to click. That offense needs to click at some point this season.
Against the number 1 defense in the league, though?
Yes,
It's gonna be tough.
Exactly. That's exactly why I'm saying it, though.
Because it's just so unlikely.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm trying and I say it's a 4-point game. I'll 20. I got to think of. I don't want to make bad math decisions here.
4-point game, 30-20.
27-23.
Gotcha. All right, now the final one. That's the nightcap. We got the Seahawks going against the 49ers in San Francisco. Of course, the brand spanking new Levi Stadium is newer than a new pair of jeans.
Brett Favre would be proud.
No, that's Levi's.
Oh, Wrangler. My fault.
Yeah,
my fault.
Am
My
I wearing
apologies.
my Wranglers today?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Are you?
You want to look at my hiney, see if I am?
Oh, not really.
No?
No offense, but no.
Please?
I'm good.
I don't think I am.
Good times on the SportsStop.
Always. Oh, always. All right, so I'm going to say Seahawks coming off a big win, big divisional win, of course, beating the Cardinals 19-3. Pretty nice. Of course, that was at home, and Seahawks are a different team away from home. But I'm not sold on this 49ers team. They just looked bad. They barely beat the Redskins yesterday. I think I got to go Seahawks. I think, of course, this is always going to be a defensive matchup. I think it's going to be 17-10. I say the Seahawks win. And the person who's going to be eating, I think Russell Wilson has a nice game. Solid game. And maybe Richard Sherman gets an interception or something like that. Because, Crabtree's a joke or whatever he said last year.
Mediocre.
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 Mediocre receiver.
Mediocre at best.
Crabtree! So yeah, I'm gonna say usually it's two guys. I say it's Russell Wilson and Richard Sherman eating the turducken.
I'm
Thursday
going to
night.
go. Oh man, I really don't want to do this, but I'm going to go Seahawks as well. 19-10.
19-10.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
19-10.
Very good.
San Fran does get the touchdown that Arizona missed, but so 19-10, and I will go with Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas. Okay.
And
No, besides Richard Sherman, I'm going Chancellor. Cam Chancellor.
okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
All right, there you go. I'm going Earl Thomas, and I'll go beast mode.
Marshawn Lynch.
Beast mode, yeah.
Beast mode. All right. So there's our picks. I have the Cowboys, Lions, Seahawks. Evan, you have the Eagles, Bears, Seahawks. You're picking all road teams, pal.
I am. Hey, yeah, let's go. Come on. Show me the money.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break here on the Sports Stop. Call in at 718-990-3SJU. That's 718-990-3758. Up next, we're going to have... I do want to kind of recap the Packers-Patriots game for next week. That's going to be in Lambeau. That's going to be a fantastic game. Both Patriots are 9-2. Packers are 8-3. This could be... These two teams are the favorites for the Super Bowl, according to Vegas, right now. So I kind of do want to recap that. But, of course, we're going to have our Let It Go segment, and we're going to talk about a little bit about the MLB offseason. Some waves are being made, some big, some small, mostly big, especially in the Boston area. So you don't want to miss any of this news here on the Sports Stop on WSU Radio, the voice of St. John's University.
And one day the axe just fell. So I drifted down to New Orleans, where I lucky with a be employed. Working for
Welcome back to the Sports Stop.
And you got the action right here on the Sports Stop here on WSU Radio, the voice of St. John's University. It is 11:31 here on November 24th. It is I, James Mitchell, alongside me, my partner, Evan McGuire. Of course, it's just the dynamic duo of Jimmy and Evan. Magoo and Mitchell. McGuire. But Magoo.
I'm gonna go.
Magoo. Magoo and Mitchie at your service.
Do you remember that that one show when you were Evan Magoo? Don't call my name Magoo McGuire.
Evan, don't call me Magoo McGuire.
Yeah, I still remember that. Good times.
Was that last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had it last year.
See, I thought of another one last night for Kurt. No, I was going to say, Kurt, I put the German Sem. But he's not here.
You still got it out there, though.
I did get it out there. I'll probably do it again next week, because it's
I hope,
if
hope
I remember.
Hope I'll remember.
Maybe I'll switch it up a little bit. We have a little less than a half hour left here on the air. I hope you're enjoying the show. If you're listening to the WSUradio.weebly.com, or if you're following the link we posted on Twitter at SportsStop WSJU, by the way, you can follow us. The link is up on Twitter. It's to tune in if you have the app, or if you just go on the website, you just search WSJU, and you should be hearing my lovely, lovely voice on the interwebs. So I hope you're enjoying it listening to there, or if you're downstairs in Marillac Cafeteria eating your brunch. It is 11:30. So if you, by the way, folks, down in Marillac, if you go to Burger King, tell them James sent you. All right? They won't know what you're talking about, but tell them James sent you. Maybe you'll get a deal.
All right, I'll be right back.
I'm telling you, they won't know what you're talking about. But do it.
I will see if I can get a deal, though.
I want to see.
James sent me.
I'm going to.
Can I get a number 2?
Right after the show, I'm going to go down there and see if ask the cashier if anybody told them that James sent them.
And you will get a outstanding
Who is James?
0.
All right, so before we get into the next half hour, let's get going into Let It Go, one of our favorite segments of the show.
Time to move on.
The past is in the past.
It's time to let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yes, it's that time of day again. It's Let It Go segment. If you're not familiar with the show or anything like that, Let It Go is you take somebody from the past week or two who just really didn't have a nice time. They just got to let it go, stay in the past. Of course, as our friend Elsa from the Disney movie always says.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
That's right. Don't let the cold bother you, folks. It's not too cold today, though. It's going to be like 65 today.
60.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad you touched on the weather.
Yes.
I'm very
Okay.
happy. I got nervous.
I had to, even though it's
nervous.
See? So my Let It Go is the NFL, the National Football League. Now, we opened up the show saying that, it was a great Week 12. Fantastic Week 12. And this has nothing to do with Week 12. This is all about the offices and Marshawn Lynch. Now, last week, Marshawn Lynch was fined $100,000, which is, of course, nothing to beast mode. But he was fined $100,000 for not talking to the press. $50,000 from not talking to the press last week, in the loss last week, and another $50,000, which was from the Super Bowl. But they said the NFL and Commissioner Goodell said they'd hold off on fining him unless it happens again. Well, it happened again. Now it's a total of $100,000. Now, Marshawn Lynch, he had a pretty decent game last week, but the Seahawks lost. He didn't really get to the he didn't cross the chains on a key 4th and 1. I'm sure he was a little disappointed in that. Of course, he's human. But the NFL fines him for not talking to the media. Okay, come on now. I understand that it says in contracts that they got to talk to the media after games. What my problem is, why is that in the contract? I feel like it's kind of using them. It's not really. They're players. They're humans. If they don't want to talk, why should you make them talk? It's like maybe he's a bit upset. Maybe he was weeping and he just couldn't. I don't know. I don't think Marshawn Lynch cried, but maybe he was. Maybe he was feeling really vulnerable, right? And
he was going to say something stupid.
Maybe, and that's what the media looks for. Let's be honest with you.
He's protecting his image.
Yeah, let's be honest with you. The media looks for a quote, something to get headlines, something like that.
Something
if Marshawn Lynch
twist the
says
story around.
Yes, if Marshawn Lynch says, drops an F-bomb, swears at this, swears at that, and accidentally calls out a teammate because he missed a block or something like that, then it's going to be a blown out of proportion. So, how Marshawn Lynch got back to him, which is hilarious, by the way. Evan alluded to it earlier. He had a 55-word interview.
Yeah.
Perfect. Where, reporters were like, Marshawn, what do you have to say about this offensive line going against a tough Arizona Cardinal defense? What do you have to say for them?
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay. And that was it. All these questions, which were not yes or no questions, by the way.
They were not.
They were not. Maybe like one of them was. And I think the one that was a yes or no question, he went on to talk about a future charity event that he was going to be attending for inner city youths in Oakland, I believe it was.
Yes.
On December 14th. I don't know. But, his face, first of all, he had that hat on. He had the fantastic hat on, the ones that you'd see, people in dog sled races wear, with the ear flaps down and the fuzziness inside. He had that hat on. He just gets the question, grabs the microphone, pauses, and says,
yeah.
Or.
Maybe.
Or.
Don't know.
There you go. So, NFL. You guys gotta let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Evan, you find a let it go?
I guess it's a let it go. I guess. I mean, it's more kind of towards a dum-dum, but it's a let it go. I'm going to twist it a little.
Okay. Whatever works, man. Nobody's listening.
As great of a game as Odell Beckham had, don't flop anymore.
Ooh.
I'm calling you out on it. The referee called you out on it. The referee called you out on it on the explanation of why it's not a late hit.
Okay, see, what was funny about it is the referee could have just said, of course, Odell
foul.
Beckham got hit,
Hit.
arguably out of bounds, whatever. It looked
put
like
that
he
in
got hit.
quotes.
It looked like he got hit kind of hard and he fell drastically. Replay showed that he wasn't really hit that hard and that it was like a legitimate hit. And so the referee could have just ended with, there was no foul for a late hit as the runner was in bounds. Instead, he says that and then continues to say, the runner flopped.
I thought that was a great explanation. So, I mean, Odell Beckham, take that out of your repertoire and just let it go.
I
can't believe he flopped.
I can't believe he flopped.
I mean, and he threw his hands up too, like.
I mean, I can believe he flopped because, people are always trying to get yards, whatever.
But like, he is. I don't want to say a crybaby, but every single time he gets touched, he looks for the foul. If you watch all the replays, if he gets touched, he throws his hands up towards the referee.
If you have anything to
during
say
the
about
play.
that, call in at 718-990-3SJU. That's 718-990-3758 to defend Odell Beckham Jr. about being a baby and flopping.
Can you really defend that though?
You can't defend the flop. You can't defend the flop. That's obvious.
I just think he needs to grow up a little bit and not just play. Make sure you go through the entire play. Don't be trying to get a flag during the play. Like he literally throws his hands up every time he gets touched.
It is what it is.
And that annoys me. That annoys me. And because I actually watched the Giants and I noticed it. I mean, it's I guess.
All right, before we get into the MLB big news of the day, coming out of Boston. Sorry, Yankee fans. But before we get to that, I really want to touch quickly on this upcoming Week 12 matchup in Lambeau Field. New England Patriots going against Green Bay Packers. Tom
Huge.
Brady going against Aaron Rodgers.
And both teams are at
Darrell-
the hottest point.
Darrell Revis and who's the other?
Browner?
Yeah, Brandon Browner.
Brandon Browner.
Going against Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb.
It's going to be a great matchup.
And it's going to be a fantastic matchup. Of course, the Packers are undefeated at home this year so far.
And Rodgers is on that horrid pace of, what's he up to now? 50? 50 touchdowns?
He's not up to 50 touchdowns.
40.
I have no idea. Honestly, I have no
It's
idea.
like 47 touchdowns at home without an interception. That's something ridiculous.
Oh, I thought you meant on the year. I was like,
Oh,
he's not
no,
touching
no,
50.
no. No, at home.
Yeah.
That streak that he has.
I think it's completion. I mean, attempts without touchdowns. Attempts.
Touchdowns without a pick.
Yeah, without a pick. So he's money right now. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. It's going to be. I mean, of course, the Patriots do have offense and defense. Their defense is phenomenal. Packers, I say the Patriots' defense is their strength, even with Tom Brady. I say the defense is their strength.
Oh, absolutely.
And the Packers' offense is their strength.
Clearly.
I think the key thing is Eddie Lacy's getting on a nice roll. He just had 125 yards against the Vikings. I know you could be like, oh, well, it's the Vikings. But, I mean...
It's 125 is 125.
Yeah,
still.
and it was... 2 years ago and beyond, the Packers were always looking for that back that could close the game out, that could run for the first downs and eat time off the clock. That wasn't a fat joke, Eddie Lacy. Not saying that you're eating the time. It's just a figure of speech. You're not fat. You're just a little portly. But that's it.
I think it's all muscle, though. That's the scary part.
Except for his gut. You can tell his gut, man.
He's jacked, though.
He is jacked. Yes. Until they got Eddie Lacy, they were searching for that back that could close out the games. Now they have it, and I think that's huge for the Packers, and I think that'll help them in a big way.
And you saw it last night, or yesterday, when he closed out that last drive.
Yeah, he got like 2 or 3 clutch first downs to just eat the clock and send the Packers home with the victory out of Minnesota in a divisional matchup. So it's going to be very close. See, I don't even want to pick.
I was going to say, don't pick.
I don't think I want to pick.
We haven't picked a future Sunday game yet.
Yes.
I say let's not do it just to
Yes, just to keep the tradition alive. But
the Packers are winning right now, so we can't change things.
I mean, the Patriots are winning too.
So, are we picking the Patriots? Just
I don't
because-
know. See,
I-
I think it's too close to call. I think honestly, I think the spread might be even. I think it just might.
I would say the spread is going to be picked. Actually, their Patriots are going to get 2 points.
Patriots going to be favored by 2 points.
No, they're going to get 2 points.
Oh, okay. So the Packers gonna
just
be the
because it's
2
at
point favorite.
Lambeau. Whoever is at home, they're going to be the favorites by 2 points.
It might even
So-
be 1.5. But I say
Yeah,
it's
1.5.
currently in my
probably.
mind. I think it might be even. So just be on the lookout for that.
That's going to be a huge game.
That's going to be a huge game.
Game of the week, I believe, at 4:25.
I think so. I hope
It
that's
should-
televised.
it
It's
should
got to be televised.
That's
gotta be.
too big of a game not to be.
Exactly. So yeah, be on the lookout for that game. I can't wait. This is one of my favorite weekends of the year, Thanksgiving weekend. And we're going to touch quickly on the MLB big news, and then we're going to talk about Thanksgiving weekend, what we're going to be doing, and then we're going to get the heck out of here. And then see y'all next week. But until then, big news out of Boston. Boston
Boston is
the
making
Sox.
moves.
The Sox are making big moves right now, man.
Last
The
night,
wicked big moves.
Last night, they agreed to a deal with Hanley for 5 for $90.
Hanley Ramirez, just Hanley being Hanley, baby. 5 years, $90 million. He's going to be possibly playing left field currently
Because of their
of course.
other move.
because their other move, which is Pablo Sandoval agreeing to a deal.
Tentatively.
Tentatively.
Yes.
Tentatively. Nobody actually signed. Hanley didn't sign. I think he's
Hanley's
on the way
flying.
over.
Yeah, Hanley's flying to Boston today, supposedly to sign the deal. I'm pretty sure that's almost in
Reports,
stone.
reports say, I saw it on ESPN, Hanley Ramirez and the Red Sox have a agreement.
Yeah, and then
5 years, $90 million.
and then the Panda, who I absolutely love, now I have to hate. So this is going to be horrible. But-
Panda coming off of, he was part of 3 World Series championships. He's one of the great postseason hitters. He has a World Series MVP, one of the few people to hit 3 home runs in a single World Series game, alongside Albert Pujols, Babe Ruth, Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, he as well is going to Boston, supposedly.
Supposedly.
I mean,
but
I just read a report that San Fran offered him 5 for 95. 5 for 90 or 95, willing to go up to 95.
see, I think
and-
that was the Red Sox deal as
And
well.
Boston offered him 5 for 95, but I
Yes.
think it might go up to 100
I think it might.
because the Padres are also in the chase,
How about them Padres, man?
and they're offering that 6th year.
Ooh.
I believe.
Okay, so you just read that. So he's not going there just yet.
Not just yet. I
Okay.
believe the Padres offered a 6-year deal for the same amount, but 100. I guess it would be 120.
Maybe.
Whatever that extra year would bring in.
Yeah.
So that would. But I don't. He seems set on going to Boston.
I mean, they have a great. I know they came in. They were in the cellar this year. They were in the cellar 3 years ago. 2 years ago, they won the World Series. Back to first, from worst to first, back to
down
worst. But they have a nice base right now. Of course, they have Pedroia. Of course, they got Cespedes this past season in the John Lester trade.
Who's playing center field for them?
Center field is
It's the young guy, right?
Bradley Jr.
Yeah.
I think he struggled though.
Yeah, I think he struggled, but I mean,
I think
you
the other
expect that,
guy.
though.
There's another guy. Also, they also have Rusney Castillo.
Yeah. And then they have Bogart still.
Bogarts will be at shortstop
I mean, if they sign,
or third.
they officially sign Hanley and Panda, you're going to have. I don't even know who's first base for them.
That's Napoli.
They're going to have Napoli, Pedroia at second,
Shortstop will be Bogarts.
Bogarts at short, Panda,
Sandoval.
and then left field's going to be Hanley.
Yep.
I
And then
feel
center, I feel, would be Castillo or Bradley Jr. or whatever.
Probably Castillo.
Probably Castillo.
And then Cespedes and
then
right.
Cespedes and right.
Like that's huge. And then whoever behind the plate, someone probably defensive.
Probably. I think they were rolling with who? Przinski was on the team this year. I think he got cut, though.
What's the old guy's name?
Ross?
Yeah, Ross
Yeah,
and that
something
beard.
like that, yeah. See, their pitching
They're pitching,
is a little
yeah.
suspect.
They offered a deal to Lester. He's not going to accept that because it's kind of under.
Yeah.
It was one of those discount deals
Yeah, I think.
where they tried.
I mean, I think
It's
they
still
kind of
respectable.
Yeah, I think they kind of have to try and go for the discount because they are after
just-
Hanley and
yeah.
Pablo. But I think Lester, he was offered by the Red Sox. He got an offer from the Red Sox. He got an offer from the Cubbies. Of course, Theo Epstein, now the Cubs general manager, and I think president of baseball ops, former Red Sox general manager. So it's going to be interesting to see where, of course, we're still waiting to see where the big three go. Of course, that's James Shields, John Lester, Max Scherzer. But, I mean, big news. Boston's making waves in that harbor up there.
And
got to get a celebratory bowl of clam chowder.
all right, enough Red Sox. This is way too much Red Sox talk for me in one day.
Listen, I'm just excited, man. I love free agency.
I know.
As a Mets fan, I have nothing to look forward to except for free agency. Because as a Mets fan, you're always taught next year. And then when they actually do things that could stride towards next year, you're like, yes, all right. Now, next year is still next year. It remains to be seen. We're no future storytellers. But still, I love free agency. Even if the Mets aren't even in on anybody.
All right, well, let's talk about some more free agency. Now with
Yes, let's go for it.
with the Panda leaving the Giants, they have a glaring hole at third base.
The Padres? I mean, the Giants,
The
you mean?
Giants.
I'm sorry, I wasn't
The
listening.
Giants. But I was thinking of the former Padre.
Chase Headley.
Yes,
I
and I
believe-
really want him to go back to the Yankees, and this kind of throws a big wrinkle into it.
Yeah, I believe the Giants will probably, if Pablo goes to or leaves San Francisco, I do think they will go after Chase Headley heavily. Of course, they saw Chase Headley, Gold Glove fielder. They saw him a lot in San Diego,
I mean,
so they know what he's got.
there's a big chance that he goes back to the West Coast.
Yeah.
Just because San Diego was his home for so long.
It's true.
I mean, I can see him leaving, but I really want him to come back to the Yankees. I enjoyed him playing on the Yankees. Flashing the leather, he is so good at third base defensively.
Of course, it would be a battle for third base between him and A-Rod.
I want A-Rod to DH.
I think A-Rod should DH.
I think A-Rod needs to DH. Yeah,
But,
he
we'll
can play
see
the
what
field
happens.
every now and then.
We'll see what
sure.
happens. Sure.
But, oh my God, please come back.
Also,
Please.
going with the Yankees, originally they said they're not going after any of the big-time free agents, but now they're going to be looking at Scherzer.
Yeah, I heard rumblings about Scherzer. I don't know about that.
I think, the Yankees, of course, they have a bunch of big contracts and things like that because they are the Yankees. Scherzer would be a fantastic addition to them. I think... Scherzer's a strikeout pitcher. He hasn't been injured yet. And I say yet because, Tommy
Exactly,
John.
It's yet. I feel just because if the Yankees sign him, just because the Yankees signed him, he's going to get it.
I mean, they also have Tanaka. Everybody's like, oh, the Yankees offense. Even though they weren't good this year.
I don't know.
Surprisingly...
I'm big on the pitching that they have.
Yeah, surprisingly, the pitching was great, but because of the Yankees, they don't have any of the big names. Tanaka's who was a little bit of a
in charge.
mystery, but he is the ace, and he made it clear. CC Sabathia,
He's a number 4 now.
he is a number 3 or 4 guy.
I don't even think he's 3. I think he goes all the way down to 4.
I mean, it's very possible. Of course, he's coming off of an injury that was almost career-ending.
Yeah.
Like, they were worried about that.
And you don't have. They didn't give the qualifying offer to Kuroda.
No.
So he's probably gone. You have.
I mean, Kuroda, he
probably
may
retiring.
retire.
Yeah.
So,
You got Nova coming back from Tommy John.
yep.
You have
Pineda, who's their number 2, probably.
Yeah, Nova probably will be either. I guess he can be the 4, and CC can move up to 3. But
Yeah.
and then you have the kid. I'm blanking on his name.
It's not Phelps, right?
Not Phelps. Oh my God.
I forget what his name is, too.
Yeah, but he pitched good. He had just above a 3-year ERA for them.
Yeah, he was one of their best pitchers last year.
Yeah, he just didn't get the run support.
It's true.
All right. Another glaring hole for the Yankees.
Shortstop.
Yeah. Where do you see them going with it? Best case scenario,
Best case scenario, I say they trade not for Troy Tulowitzki. I don't think the Rockies or the Yankees have what it takes to get a Troy Tulowitzki. I don't think their farm system.
I agree.
I don't think it's there yet.
Yeah.
I think the best case scenario is they trade for Elvis Andrews.
I agree.
Texas.
That's my best case scenario, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want them to do it because of the huge contract that he has.
Yeah, he does have a huge contract.
If he didn't have that huge contract, I would say it's a no-brainer.
Right.
But with that huge contract, I'm kind of leaning away from it. Like a smaller, and plus it would cost a lot for Andrews probably.
Probably.
I
Well,
think-
maybe not as much as like a Starling Castro because of that contract.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But
of course, Andrews is coming off a down year.
a guy that I like and is cheap and they have a surplus of the Gregorius. Didi Gregorius.
With the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. I think because he's on the out there.
He is on the out.
Because they have the other young guy there.
Owings?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, and I did hear that they were shopping him earlier. I'm not sure. I don't know what they're going to do.
The thing with that is, because the Mets have always been linked to the Diamondbacks as well, it looks like, because the Diamondbacks have Tony La Russa now, new for baseball ops. They also have Dave Stewart, the GM, also new. I think they kind of want to see what they have, so they have to be sort of blown away with the deal.
And the Yankees can't. I don't think they can necessarily. I mean, they still have blue chip guys.
Yes, of course, just like any other team.
Just their catchers.
But like, would you want to give away a blue chip guy when you have aging players, right? That you don't know, who have big contracts. So they have to start, yes, but like,
I think they can manage just to give up one guy. I mean, they have three catchers down in the minors that are really good and supposed to develop into great.
Yes,
not great,
and that's
but
the
good
challenge
players.
of the GM. You see what you have. You see what they have. You want to see if you can get what they have for the least amount of what you have, and vice versa. Things like that. So, it's exciting. One of my favorite times of the year. And also, one more thing with MLB, I saw rumors that the Rangers, speaking of the Rangers and Elvis Andrews, they're looking to trade for Justin Upton from the Atlanta Braves. Of course, the Braves traded Hayward last week, I believe right after our show, because I was like, oh my God, how come this didn't happen an hour before? But they traded Jason Hayward to the Cardinals for Shelby Miller and like a minor leaguer, and minor leaguers came and went and things like that. But the main things was Hayward for Miller. Now they're looking to trade Justin Upton.
There goes the corner outfielders.
There goes the corner outfielders, yeah. And
that would make the Rangers so good.
Now, the Rangers, of course, they didn't finish too well. I think they were close to last place. The only reason why they weren't last place was the Astros.
I mean, injuries were a big story.
Injuries were a big story. Prince Fielder was out for the year early.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yep.
They didn't have Holland all season until the last 3 weeks.
Who's the race?
Yu Darvish.
Yu Darvish.
Yu Darvish got hurt. I mean, they had the Jerickson Profar.
Jerickson Profar, yep.
He was broke his shins or something.
He was out for a long time. So, I mean, it was a big...
you didn't really see that team.
No, not at all. Sin Chu really didn't do well, but he was injured as well.
Yeah, I mean, they were injured all season, and then for some reason, Alex Rios, I mean, he had a good year, but his power just disappeared.
It's true.
I thought that was kind of weird.
He didn't really have that much power to begin with.
I mean, he's still a 15 home run hitter.
15 to 20. He could have been 20-20.
He only had like 5.
Yeah, so that sort of stuff just disappeared. And it's a little odd to see, but if everything comes back, like Prince, of course, is going to come back. Before this injury, Prince was surprisingly an Iron Man. He played 150 games each year at least.
First serious injury.
Of course, Beltre will be back. But, I mean, you never know when age catches up to Adrian Beltre. Some say it never will. I'm one of those people who say it will
I
never
agree
will.
with that. I mean, Beltre is fun to watch.
Yes. And you never know with pitchers nowadays with Tommy John, things like that. So hopefully Yu Darvish is healthy. But if they do get Justin Upton from the Braves, that's going to be a dangerous team. And
that's a great offense, but they still need to go out and sign a pitcher.
Especially relievers.
They need to get a starter, though.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean they're rolling with Joakim Soria in Texas now?
No, he got traded to Detroit.
That's true, yes, he did. So who's the closer? It's not Feliz, is it?
Yeah,
he wasn't doing
Feliz.
too well. He wasn't doing too well. I don't like that. They got to get a...
They need to They need to sign 2 relievers and a starting pitcher.
Yeah, if they get Robertson, I'd say that's good for them.
Well, yeah.
I say he should be one of the top. He should be 1 or 2 on their list.
But I think to complement Darvish and Holland, you need a number 3. Not necessarily an ace, but just a guy that can help the rotation.
Right, somebody who eats innings.
Yeah, because, I mean, clearly it didn't work last year for them.
Right. Okay, it's 11:58 here on the Sports Stop. That means we have 2 minutes left. Let's quickly go over what we're doing for Thanksgiving. Evan, I know your mother makes a fantastic stuffing. You told me all about it.
I cannot wait for Thanksgiving. We have like 25 people come to my house. So
really? Wow.
We have a huge bird being cooked. Just a smorgasbord of food.
Yeah.
Dessert. Oh,
and football,
my God.
man.
And football.
Your Eagles are playing in a huge game of the season so far. So that should be fantastic.
Mama McGuire's got to make it happen. Got to time everything just right.
Yep.
Otherwise, a lot of people will skip dinner, essentially, or just take their dinner away from.
And that's not
family
what
time.
Thanksgiving's about.
But it is, because everyone wants to be together to watch this Eagles game. So
I gotcha.
But I'm very excited to go home, see the family, eat a lot. You know, the good stuff.
Oh yeah, that is all. That's the good stuff.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Well, of course, I'm going to be going out with my lady friend, spending the weekend up at home. So I'm looking for a good time. And, of course, Mama Mitchell's making a smorgasbord. See, it's always we wake up, we watch the parade. This is the schedule. We wake up, watch the parade.
Depends on how I feel.
Then, appetizers are out. My mother makes these mushroom turnovers that are delicious.
Appetizers are so good.
Pigs in a blanket. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Stuffed peppers.
Stuffed mushrooms. Peppers. My mom makes stuffed mushrooms.
Stuffed peppers. Oh, my God.
It's great stuff. Oh, my God, I'm getting hungry.
I know, right?
Then, we get some food. We watch the football game, the first one, which is usually, in past years, it was the Lions. I think it is always the Lions.
It's
first.
always the Lions, yeah.
At 12:30 or whatever. When the Packers don't play, usually me and my cousins, we go out and play a little bit of football.
Nice.
It's got to be done. We have usually an early dinner. We usually have it during the second game, like 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's usually when mine is.
That's dinner time.
That's the problem, though, this year.
And then, of course, 8 o'clock comes around. The second game, the last game, now that they have the third one, the last game now is on. That's dessert time.
That's dessert time, and it's kind of just like that kind of time where you just kind of start winding down.
Yep, all right, so it is 12:01. We went overboard a little bit talking about Thanksgiving, but it's just, it is worth it. It's the start of the best time of the year in many ways. So for Evan McGuire, I am James Mitchell, wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week, same time, 10:30 to 12, on WSG Radio, the voice of St. John's University. It's time for us to go, but I want you to remember that life is good today. Let's keep it that way.